Hey y'all, how are you today? We're trying a new angle. This is where I sit at the keyboard for my studio, laptop goes. I actually got a request for a video today, so I'm happy to do this one. One of my students said it would be helpful if I made a video on how to release your tongue. So for her, we are working on releasing the back of her tongue down. And I'll just try to show you incoming tongue thing. So not flat like this, but we're trying to flex the back of the tongue or release the back of the tongue down like this. Do you see that? So the tip of the tongue when you're singing should always be resting right here behind your lower teeth like this. And then the back of the tongue, the way I teach is that it should be released down. It should be gently released down like this. So not flat, but like this. So singers, if you're having some pain along here, some fatigue, kind of muscle fatigue, a lot of times it does tie back into this tongue position and the laryngeal position because your larynx is tied directly to your tongue. So if your tongue is raising up and tight, your larynx is also going to be popping up and tight, and then these paralaryngeal muscles here are going to get tired. So let's talk about some strategies and some ways to get that tongue down. I do want to take a moment of silence for my new sweater. It has a unicorn and it has sparkly stuff on it. Yay, very excited. Today's my first day wearing it. So anyway, what we're gonna do are just go through a couple different ways that we naturally release the back of our tongue down. The first is one that you probably have heard if you've been in voice lessons before, and that is to do a yawn. I'll yawn and let you see what my tongue does. So up, middle, and yawn. You want it in that kind of V formation. And I do sing with it in that position. Watch this. And now watch what happens if I raise it. And you can see my larynx popping down too. Watch this. So we want that gently released position. Now there is a world in which we can overdo this, really yanking the tongue way down and the larynx too far down, and you'll know it's too much if you sound like this. It's too much, guys. That can also cause fatigue if you overdo it. So yawn is the first way to find that released, relaxed tongue. You want to do this while you hold a hand mirror right here, kind of the way I'm holding my phone, so that you have some instant feedback, because sometimes we just can't feel what the tongue is doing. Another way that I like to teach this is imagine that you're smelling something really delicious, like your favorite scent, flower, pizza, whatever. And when we do that, the tongue naturally drops, and so does the larynx. So that's thing number 2. Thing number 3 you can think about is imagine something really hot on the back of your tongue. Have you ever had a piece of pizza and the cheese, like you want it so much, it's really hot, it's burning you, and the cheese is sitting on the back of your tongue, and you go like this. When we do that, the back of the tongue drops down, and the soft palate, all the way, which is the squishy part of the roof of your mouth in the back, the soft palate goes up. So that's a great position for singing too, especially classical singing. So these are just some tips on how to find that released tongue. If you have problems with it popping up on you and some fatigue and stuff like that here, what I would recommend is to just begin by holding a hand mirror, kind of like what I'm doing with my phone here. Breathing in on a yawn, or thinking about the hot thing, or whatever, whichever one of those ideas pings you. It's gonna make me yawn for real, and that's fine. Yawning is good for you, for your voice. It's a nice, healthy stretch. But yeah, if you have trouble with this and keeping your tongue down, I recommend getting a hand mirror, holding it right here, breathing in, letting the back of your tongue sink down, and then make some sounds and keep your tongue where it is, like this. Oh, oh. And even for me, even an expert, I sometimes want to go, aha, you know, it wants to jump up, so I have to watch it. Oh, oh. Start in the middle of the voice, work your way up. Oh, keeping that tongue low. There are some teachers that teach that there's, you can do a laryngeal tilt forward and that the back of the tongue actually can come up as you're singing high notes. That's not the way I was taught or the way I teach it, but I do want to acknowledge that that's another way. So the first thing would be to make some noise while keeping an eye on your tongue. Then you want to start actually singing with that hand mirror, multiple onsets. Not like that. And I'm overdoing the air because that's what I was working with my student today. Some breathier onsets to combat what is naturally happening for her, which is a more harsh onset. So this tongue thing and the air is helping with that. So just a couple of tips for tongue position and fatigue and things like that. Yeah, curious to hear what you guys think of this. If it works for you, if you have any questions, please let me know. Bye. Bye from me and my unicorn.